This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is a show where we talk about show business. Johnny D sitting over there to my that way. I got it right that time. I got busy. We got oops, wrong microphone. Sorry. We got mirrors on here, so I got to remember that Johnny D is this way when he's actually this way. If you guys know what I'm saying, you don't care. Anyway, good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Scotty.
I wanted to explain why I suddenly interjected Dazu Prime in the Harbor Cove Cafe app. Mm-hmm. That's because as of yesterday, Dr. Shocker is no longer with Harbor Cove Cafe. He's moving up to Reno to start his own business, take his family up there. And yesterday was his last day on the job. So they took real good care of him. They got him a bottle of Black Tot rum, which is a very expensive, very rare rum. So Shocker was very happy about that. It's been his holy grail rum. And so he was very happy to get that. Randy, who's the owner of Harbor Cove Cafe, says he's going to restructure some things. Has to in the light of the new cocktail bar that's opening there, the Starboard Lounge. So it's going to be a different time. But Randy's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a good team out there, and they're going to be just fine. He understands, though, that, Shocker did a lot. And he told me yesterday, there were a lot of things that Shocker did on his own, a lot of things I did on my own, and a lot of things we did together. I just got to work until I get all those things worked out. So
it's going to work out.
It's going to be great, especially when they get that tiki bar open, because it's going to be very exciting that they'll have that tiki bar running there. So,
okay. You, Josh, me.
Here's John making plans again.
Yes. We should schedule a Samus for Reno.
Gonna have to go to Reno now. Excuse me. Especially since Shocker's gonna be opening up his own bar. He told me the name of it last night, but I can't remember what it was. Paley Uul or something like that. Some Hawaiian or Polynesian phrase. But he's got big plans, and they've done a lot of that work already. He and Rosie Radish, his wife. So I think that they'll do wonders with the tiki bar up there. And it's going to be different. Reno's a long way away. Thankfully, he'll still be part of the Friday Shot Day show. He'll be, we can always send him links. And because of StreamYard working so well, much better than Stream Deck, if I do say so myself, we can do that. I mean, Doug's on the Friday Shot Day show every week from Costa Rica, for crying out loud, and doesn't miss a lick. So it's pretty good stuff all the way around. But anyway, I wanted to explain Dazu Prime, who is actually Chase over there at the Harbor Cove Cafe. He'll still be mixing up cocktails there, and he's got almost as much experience as Shocker, so that is a good thing. So like I said, Randy is left in good hands, and that's good news. What are you over there doing, sir? You're driving me crazy.
I am looking at
I can just see him typing away on this.
I'm looking for
you said that
a name, if he has his maybe this is it, of what Shocker's going to call it.
You don't.
Oh,
it's not anywhere on the internet or anything yet. It's still just an empty bar. So there's a long way to go. But we were over at the Uni room last night, which is sadly going the way of the dodo. And but he was just telling us about it. So anyway, be interesting. All right, we're starting off today with the Swiss Conspiracy. And the Swiss Conspiracy is the latest release from our friends Film Masters. Those of you who've listened to the show before know that Film Masters is a company that finds and manufactures pristine copies, the best copies you'll ever see of older movies, and presents them on Blu-ray. And I've been thrilled with the releases so far. We talked about them several times, the new releases that they've had. Beast from Haunted Cave was one of them. The Terror was another one, and several other titles as well. And we've always talked about them because film preservation is very important. And, you can see some of these movies on YouTube, but they're all spotty and rotten and whatever. But then you get the Film Masters version and you watch it on the Blu-ray and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful to do. Well, they've done mostly older movies up to this point. And the new one is the Swiss Conspiracy. Swiss Conspiracy is from 1976. So still, it's almost 50 years old, right? It's hard to imagine that a movie from 1976 is almost 50 years old. That's a vintage movie these days, no question about it. But it's a lot newer than some of the other titles they were doing, which were from the early 60s and even before that.
It almost sounds like, because I haven't seen it yet, but the way you've titled it and looking at the poster there, it kind of reminds me of the Osterman Weekend. Did you ever
Okay.
see that movie?
Of course I did. Sam Peckinpah.
I don't remember who directed
Well,
it.
I do. Sam Peckinpah.
But it had Rutger Hauer in it.
Yes, it did.
And
it's an interesting movie. It's a little raunchy too. There's a couple of sex scenes that are pretty intense.
But looking at that poster there, that's made me think of the Osterman Weekend.
Strangely enough, has nothing to do with the Swiss Conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
As usual, John's just interjecting something because it shot into his head.
Yeah,
but and there are, you know what? There are 3 words in the title: the Swiss Conspiracy, the Osterman Weekend. So I'll give you that.
I will. I'll tell you what I've told a lot of youngsters.
Well, that leaves me out.
You know, well,
no, comparatively,
you're younger than me.
That's it. Way younger than you, like 30 years younger than you.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
I'll look at them with that stern face like this. Look, I have probably forgotten more than you will ever learn. And this is back when I was doing.
That's not a compliment.
No,
that sounds like you got dementia.
No. It was back when I was driving Lyft, and you'd get these young kids in the car, and they're loud mouth, think they know it all and all that. And I was having a bad day. And I said that. I looked in the mirror and I said that all 4 of them, because there's 3 in the back, 1 in the front, they all shut up. The guy in the middle of the back seat was their leader. And he goes, "Oh, he's right." And then we all laughed. But it was the way I said it. And my dad said that to me many, many years ago. And because we got into a little bit of an argument, he says, "I know, Dad, I know." And then he pulled that on me, and I go, he's right.
John, we're talking about the Swiss Conspiracy. And somehow we got into this whole conversation. This is what I mean.
Okay.
Again, John has branched off into his own direction. We're talking about a movie called The Swiss Conspiracy. Now, I had a joke all lined up for it. The plot's full of holes. It's not, but that was my joke. But I didn't get to do my joke because John's over here going off on a tangent about his history with his father, with his Lyft drivers, with his so scary stern face.
It's your fault.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. I should have turned off the microphone and the camera.
No, when you said he's got so much stuff in his brain, that's one of the things I have in my brain.
I didn't say that.
Or something like in his head.
No.
Play it back.
I think what I said is that there's nothing in there.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, who knows what I said. It's been 5 minutes. I forgot. Can we talk about the Swiss Conspiracy?
Hey, let's talk about the Swiss Conspiracy.
I think that's a good idea.
So nothing to do with Swiss Family Robinson.
See? Now, next thing I remember when my dad took me to see Swiss Family Robinson. It was at a theater in
Turtlesville.
See? You thought I was making it up. All right. Anyway, Swiss Conspiracy is out now. It's another one of those movies from Film Masters that they have made pristine. You're not going to find a better print of the Swiss Conspiracy anywhere. Now, there's occasional speckles and things like that, but the image is clear. The sound is clear. It's a product of its time, though. The movie's from 1976. Briefly, I'm going to read you the plot from the Film Masters website. A Swiss bank president hires an American investigator to ferret out a group of blackmailers that have been terrorizing his clients. Now, the thing about Switzerland. Everybody wants to bank there because the bank accounts are anonymous, right? So if you've got money that's either criminally received or maybe morally, iffy, you can hide that money in a Swiss bank account and keep it secret so nobody knows about it.
Supposedly.
In this movie, though, somebody has got a list of all the accounts, and they are threatening some of the high deposit customers with exposing them unless they pay them exorbitant amounts of what do you call it when a kidnapper asks for ransom? Thank you. Okay, so here's the first funny part. This movie's from 1976. Almost 50 years ago, right? And this, I love this, by the way. This is really actually kind of cool. But the amount of money that is being blackmailed in 1976 is $6 million. Now, what would it be today? It'd be $60 million, $600 million. It reminded me of Austin Powers. $6 million.
No, he says $1 million.
Yeah, but it's 6 million.
Well, I know that, but it was Austin Powers, and all the people around the table laughed.
This is what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I actually love that other part about film masters is you have these movies that are stuck in their time. You know, that movie was made in 1976, hasn't been altered since 1976. And you get to see what the world was like in 1976. You get to see the cars, you get to see the fashion, you get to see the even the such things as eyeglasses. Everything is so different and so weird. And then the filmmaking is different because the acting style is different. Acting back then wasn't as intense as it is now. Still very fine acting, don't get me wrong, but just not intense and personalized like it is today. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis in a movie from the 70s, be kind of hard to see. But, you know, these days, even though he's retired, he's probably one of the greatest actors who ever lived. And so that's also interesting to see.
The effects, most of the effects are practical effects.
They have to be. And that's actually one of the things I was going to bring up, because there's a helicopter crash in this movie. And the helicopter goes up, not very high, because they're trying to get away and somebody shoots at him. And then it comes back down. Well, all you see is the helicopter like kind of shake, and the guy inside shaking. That was the crash. You know, he's because it doesn't blow up or anything. It just settles. So yeah, you're right. So there's the practical effects like that. There's also the filmmaking style. The editing is kind of stiff compared to modern editing. Of course, in 76, I think they were still cutting and splicing. You know, nowadays it's all done on computers, but back then it was all cutting and splicing.
Have you ever cut and spliced film before?
Of course I have.
So have I. Oh, that's right, because you did it at the theater.
No, I made 8mm movies.
That's right, you did.
Yes. So.
And you did 2 of them?
Huh?
Didn't you do 2 of them?
I did many.
Well, I only saw 2 of them.
Well, that's probably enough. Well, you're talking about those 2 were not my movies.
Oh, I thought
you're talking about Night of the Doll and Forklift Drivers from Hell.
Yeah.
No, those were Craig Fields and James Bonney and Chris Gerlach. But I was in them. But anyway, once again, we're off track here. Let's go back. So it's interesting to watch these movies, and you know, the clarity helps a lot, the image perfection and the sound perfection. But it's also interesting to watch them as historical pieces. I see my wife gets kind of frustrated with me because she's all, why are you watching this old movie? And I'm watching it because I'm fascinated by how things were. And movies capture how they were. Now, of course, they're still fiction, but you still, like I said, the fashion, all this other, the cars, all this stuff is the way the movie was made. The score is another perfect example. Movie, you know, because I'm a huge fan of movie scores, and I mean, I love movie scores, and the score is very different than anything you can imagine today, and I love that. I love the fact that you can witness that. All that being said, this is a pretty good movie. I mean, you're going to figure out what's going on awful quick, and you do. There's no question about it. But watching the cast at work, and the cast is excellent. I'm going to get to them in a minute. Watching them work in this film of that era, and thinking that these people were all stars back then. They were big names, and you're going to know the names when we go through the names here. But it's just, I always want to thank film masters for doing this, for getting these movies in, because I might have watched Swiss Conspiracy on VHS or something, and it would have been a lousy print. If it was from 1991 or something. A lot of care wasn't put into just dumping those things onto VHS, but a lot of care is put into this by film masters, and they have created this incredible version of this. The other thing is that Guillermo del Toro, Academy Award-winning director, he has said that those of us who collect physical media are the archivists of modern motion pictures, and I think he's right. And if you see that going on. You see with the streamers how suddenly they dump 30 movies. Well, are those 30 movies ever going to be shown again? Who knows? But if I've got my physical copy, I can watch it whenever I want to.
Exactly.
So that's why it's very important that physical media, and I understand that physical media has turned a corner, that it was dipping pretty violently, but now it's kind of leveled out because people are realizing, well, wait a minute, if I want to watch this movie, I don't want to have to go pay, $30 for a streamer when I can just pop it in my Blu-ray player and watch it whenever I want to.
Well, look what's happening with music. A lot of vinyl is coming back.
Vinyl's made a huge comeback. Yeah. I think it outsold CDs last year. Yeah.
Of course, streaming outsold a lot of stuff, but people like to have, like you said, they like to have that physical thing in their hand.
And the thing about vinyl sets that was always better than CDs. Now, we talked about this last week. I actually prefer the sound of CDs. You actually prefer the sound of vinyl. But there's something about holding that package. You know, you have a CD package. It's a little jewel case thing, and maybe there's 2 or 3 pages in the pamphlet, right? The booklet. With a vinyl, you've got this big 12-inch package with a graphic that's easily seen. You know, sometimes you can't see those graphics real well in those little CD containers. Plus, they might open up. There might be a gatefold. Plus, the sleeves might have artwork on them. Plus, in the old days, and I don't know if anybody else is still doing this, Kiss would put GIFs in their albums. They had a paper, when their album Love Gun came out, they had a paper pop gun that you put together, and then you went like this and it popped.
I remember pop guns.
And then they had with paper, a paper pop gun. That's what it was. Yeah. And then they put tattoos and things like that. You can't really do that with CDs. So I get that. I get the whole thing. Whether you prefer the sound of vinyl or you prefer the sound of CD, there's something about a vinyl package. The presentation.
Some LPs, depending on the band or the record company, you would get a poster. It wouldn't be a great big poster, but it's gonna be a poster.
Yeah, folded up. That Kiss did that with their Dynasty album. I know too much about Kiss, don't I? I'm sorry, folks. Anyway, yeah, but so there is that as well. But back to the Swiss Conspiracy. It comes with a nice little booklet that has all kinds of information about the film. It was directed by Jack Arnold. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
He directed one of my very favorite movies of all time, The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
And there's actually a documentary feature on this release that talks about Jack Arnold's career and how he got tired of being the guy who made monster movies and he wanted to do serious movies, which is probably one of the things that led him to the Swiss Conspiracy, because he thought that people thought of those science fiction movies as throwaway, where other movies were the ones that were winning Oscars. And he's not wrong. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, how long did it take a horror movie to win Best Picture? A long, long time. So, anyway, so that's also part of the interesting, package there. I was going to read you some of the other stuff that's on this package as well. So briefly, here's some of the specs from the Filmmaster's website. The Swiss Conspiracy was scanned in 4K from 35 millimeter archival elements. So see, they found a really good print there. They got that done with thanks to digital colorist Mark Weilige. The Swiss Conspiracy is an aspect ratio of 185:1, widescreen, runs 87 minutes. The disc is region free and includes English SDH. So you can watch it that way as well. Let me see what else. The audio is DTS HD, Dolby AC3S. These are all codes that people who are cinephiles will know. I don't even know some of them.
What is SCH?
See, I knew you were going to ask me that, and it's not. It's SDH.
Oh, what is SDH?
I don't know. English SD. I'm thinking it's We'll look it up here in a second. Let's see what else is there. Author, podcaster Daniel Budnick and film historian Rob Kelly joined forces to provide a comprehensive commentary track. So you've got that if you're interested about that. And actually, you know what? I might go back and watch it with that on there. Lee Pfeiffer, the editor-in-chief of Cinema Retro magazine, provides liner notes for this release. That's the little pamphlet there. The special features include the documentary I was telling you about, Jack Arnold, The Lost Years, to tell you about the director, Jack Arnold. Ryan Verrill and Will Dotson from Someone's Favorite Productions present a visual essay, Jack Arnold, a three-dimensional filmmaker. And there's also the original 35 millimeter theatrical trailer, which, if you're like me, I love trailers. So it's always fun to watch those as well. Anyway, it's a lot of information for this, but the most important thing I was going to tell you about is this cast, because the cast is really quite spectacular. And let me pull up the thing here. So the Swiss Conspiracy stars David Janssen.
Oh yeah,
is the lead role. David Janssen was the fugitive, and also who else did he play?
He played Harry O.
He was Harry O. Okay, that's what Spence mentioned that, and I completely forgot that when I was on KVTA.
He also played in the Green Beret, a John Wayne movie. He played a reporter.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know he's been in a lot of stuff, but I know him, of course, as the fugitive. Senta Berger is in that as well. John Ireland, John Saxon, who I think was in every movie of that era, but a terrific actor, a terrific character actor. Ray Milland played the bank president. Good to see Ray. And Elke Summer.
Oh, Elke Summer.
Now, they're all in this Swiss Conspiracy. And again, you know, the plot, you're going to figure out pretty quick, but it plays out rather interestingly. It's really not a bad movie on top of all the bonuses and everything else that you get. So I highly recommend, if you're a fan of any of these people, including Jack Arnold, the director, get yourself a copy of this, because you don't know when it'll be pulled and never seen again unless you've got that copy in your hands.
Now, is the Swiss Conspiracy, is that based on a book?
It's a good question.
Or is it just a script that somebody
I don't think it's based on a book, but let's take a quick look here. So Swiss, the joys of Google Online.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you type very quick.
The script was based on the novel by Michael Stanley, who co-wrote the screenplay with Norman Clement and Philip Saltzman.
You know what I'm waiting for? A screenplay that's based on a book written by R. Scott Bolton. And speaking of R. Scott Bolton books.
No, hold it. The most frequently used types are known as SDH, non-SDH, and forced narrative, parentheses FN. SDH stands for subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing.
What?
Just going to leave that right there. Send your emails to johnderuvo@gmail.com.
May I finish?
I guess.
Okay. If you've got Amazon Prime, go to Amazon.com, look up R. Scott Bolton books. There is a plethora of books.
Once again, we don't know what that word means.
I will come up with a meaning. Anyway, the latest that is released is called Death and the Mogul. Very good read. My favorite book by R. Scott Bolton is Dead Dick. No, it's not what you're thinking. It's about a deceased detective, private detective. It's a very good book. It's got demons in it, and it's a little cherub.
Nuns with machine guns. That's all you need to know.
Oh, not only has she got a machine gun,
she rides a Harley.
Oh, yeah. That's a really great book. And then there's the H.B. Fist series, which there's 3.
There are 3. Killed by Death, Overnight Sensation, and Burner. And Burner has my very favorite review of any review I've ever got. It was from my son. He said, "Pretty good, Dad. I'll take it." It's my favorite review.
And then there's the series of with why am I having what? Blah, it's me. I
think it's that all that steak from that McDonald's bagel you brought this morning.
Oh, it was good breakfast.
Okay, go on now.
We'll get back to that one later.
Will we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brace
Heller.
Yeah, Brace Heller series, which there's how many?
There's 3
that have been released.
3 published, a 4th one on the way, and a 5th one flitting around inside my head.
So, like I said, there's a plethora of books that are available.
There's not a plethora.
And some of them are on hardback.
There's a few.
Some of them are paperback, but some of them are.
They're all paperback. They're all Kindle.
So you can download
ebooks, and some of them are available in hardcover.
So after this program is over, go to your computer.
Do it now.
Go to Amazon.com.
Turn this off and go do it.
Okay, actually, if you have 2 computers, keep us on. And
order it on your phone while you're watching the show.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Or listening to the show, whichever one you're doing, and order these books. You will love these books.
You can go to rscottbolton.com, which will take you to any of the books that you want to buy. It'll give you some more information and also let you follow me on my Amazon page. So please do that. I need the followers.
And just to let you know, I am not paid for that ad.
That's true. In fact, he has to work for me because he was one of my readers for the book. So
I even brought in breakfast this morning. It's good breakfast too.
Look at him trying to get. I even brought in breakfast. How many years did I bring in breakfast?
A plethora.
That's exactly right. All right. So anyway, that's it for the Swiss Conspiracy. Again, highly recommended. A gorgeous looking film, very interesting for its era. And I look forward to more from Film Masters. They got several other titles coming soon, and I just can't wait to see all of them. I've just been very impressed. The only one that I didn't pick up actually was The Terror. And that's because I have so many copies of The Terror already. I just didn't pick up the new one. Yeah, that's that old Jack Nicholson, Roger Corman movie. Yeah. But
Peter
anyway,
Lorre's
their version's probably awesome. And it probably has better extras, but I just didn't pick it up.
But I remember that movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Swiss Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like I said, my first thought was the Osterman Weekend. So I like those kind of movies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I don't know how this compares to Osterman Weekend, but I did very much enjoy Osterman Weekend. So we shall see.
Getting back to the Swiss Conspiracy, one of the actors in it, John Saxon.
Yeah.
He was also in Enter the Dragon, a Bruce Lee movie.
I'm telling you, he was in everything back then. When I was younger back then. Okay, that was said wrong in so many ways. But anyway, and I had a friend whose father owned who ran a movie theater. So we go to the movies free all the time. And we did. We went 4 times a week. It was great. And I got so mad because every time I'd go to a movie, friggin' John Saxon was in it. But it was later on when I started really appreciating movies that I started to really appreciate him. He was a terrific character actor who you could always count on in those movies. And he's great in the short time that he's in the Swiss Conspiracy because he's got a chip in his shoulder and you can just see it in his face. It's like, yeah, that guy's just angry, but he was great. He really was.
He played Westerns. He played war movies, I guess.
Wasn't he one of the fathers in Nightmare on Elm Street? I don't
remember.
Think that he was.
I do remember that TV wise, he played a bad guy in 1 or 2 episodes. Might have been just one of CSI, the original series of CSI. And he was really, really a good actor.
Yes, he really was. What year did he pass away? That guy, he was, like I said, I did not appreciate him at the time and I should have. He was 83 years old. So he did pretty good there, but
July 25th, 2020.
That's just a few years ago. Yeah. He was a terrific guy. All right, moving on. Let's get to some other things here. See what we got talking about. We got Vin Diesel has announced that he's moving forward on Fast 10 2, I guess it'd be Fast 11. Well, what do you think they'll call it? Because they always have some gimmick.
Well, the last one was called
Fast 10.
Fast 10.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll call this one Fast II.
Fi. F11. Well, that might work actually. Isn't there a plane called the F11?
Oh, it was a 111. F111. Its nickname was the Aardvark.
Okay. don't start going down the path.
No, it was a fighter bomber.
Okay. So I was close, but not close enough. Anyway, he's finally getting to work on it. And that's exciting for everybody who likes those movies. I just finished watching Fast 10. It's so ridiculous. I know everybody
more than the rest of them.
It almost made $1 billion. Not more so. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'll just give you an idea. He's got the Charger. He's got the Charger and it's in a military transport plane. And bad guys are on the freeway below him. The main bad guy, Jason Momoa, has Vin's son. And they're racing down the freeway trying to get away from Vin. And Vin's friends are following him, but they're getting knocked off the road and all this stuff's going on. John Cena is in it too. He plays one of his friends. And so pretty soon there's nobody left chasing the bad guy with his son. So Vin says, open the door. And the people of the military plane, what do you mean open the door? Open the door. So they open the door and he backs the Charger out of the plane at about 150 feet, maybe more, in the air. He backs the Charger out. It falls 150 feet. It lands on 2 military SUVs that are owned by the bad guys. They, of course, are destroyed. The Charger, however, just manages to skip right up the top and go chasing after his son.
Hey, it's a Dodge.
As he's chasing after his son, 2 helicopters shoot harpoons in the doors. Now, what would happen if 2 helicopters shot harpoons in the doors and started pulling opposite sides?
Well, for one, that harpoon's going to go all the way through and out the other door.
But wouldn't the doors just pop off? A bear can tear the doors off. I think 2 helicopters can tear the doors off, but it doesn't. So they're racing down the road. He's got this little contact with his son, and he's telling his son, giving him directions. He goes, catches up with the car, gives it that maneuver. What's that maneuver they call when they chase somebody in the freeways?
Oh, the
pit maneuver. Gives it a pit maneuver. The Jason Momoa's car spins out, but when it spins out, the passenger door comes over near Vin Diesel's door. His son opens the door. Vin Diesel reaches out. His son leaps across to their car, and they take off. And I'm watching this going, here's the problem with Fast 10. in the past, those movies are so funny that you enjoy them, whether you just laugh at how ridiculous they are. This one's so ridiculous so often that by the time this is happening, which is near the end of the movie, you don't care anymore. It's like, oh God, really? You expect us to believe this? And then to make matters worse, it ends with everybody in danger. The movie doesn't end. It's part one. It's like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning.
Oh,
it's not done. That's what this one, they have to make this movie to give it an ending.
Then the next one will be Fast 10.2.
I think it should be called F11 Good Riddance would be my title for it. And the worst thing about it is this cast, down to everybody but one I'm going to mention in particular, who deserves high credit for his role in this. But the cast, all right, there's another one too. But for the most part, they take it so deadly seriously. It's like, okay, I'm going to back this car 150 feet out of a plane and land on the freeway. And they're just dead serious. It's all about family. It's stupid. Again, I know that this made $800 million at the box office. I get that people like these movies, but I don't understand why it's just so ridiculous. Now, the two people that'll give credit for playing it up a little, John Cena, terrific. That guy has really bore his way into my heart.
I thought he was great in Argyle.
He was great in Argyle. That's my whole point. He's really separated himself from the rest of these groups. I would rather watch a movie with John Cena than with Vin Diesel. Secondly, Jason Momoa steals the movie. He takes it by both fists and runs away with it. Every scene he's in, he is hysterical. He plays this crazy lunatic kind of guy who's just having fun. He's having fun killing everybody. And he's so good at it. And I thought, you know what? This is why this guy's a star, because he's got this great attitude. And by the way, Aquaman 2 struggled, but it's still doing quite well. I think it's almost to $500 million. So it's doing quite well. People want to see Jason Momoa, and they should. Again, steals the movie handily from everybody else involved. All you want to do is see Jason Momoa again because he's so good in it. This will probably piss off Vin Diesel, and he'll probably minimize Jason Momoa's role in the next one because he likes to be the star. But the saddest thing about this movie, and it broke my heart, it really did. Dwayne Johnson had that famous feud with Vin Diesel because Vin was trying to teach him how to act, basically, which is hysterical. Yeah, going to give I think Vin City some hard love to get the best performance from him. Okay, two things there. Vin should not be teaching Dwayne Johnson how to act, and it's a Fast 10 movie. He doesn't need to be intense like that. Okay. All that being said, at the end of the movie, there's a room and these military guys in full garb, full military suits with helmets and everything, go walking in the room with their guns. And one of them walks over and there's a machine, a tape machine there or something. And it says, play me. He pushes a button and you hear the voice. And I don't remember if it might be Jason Momoa, it might be somebody else. And it says, just remember, I'm going to come looking for you. Well, he peels off his helmet and it's Dwayne Johnson. And he says, you know where to find me, you son bitch. Now, I thought, wait, I thought that Dwayne Johnson wasn't going to do any more Fast and Furious movies. So I Googled to find out what happened. This is the part that breaks your heart. Sorry about that, Dwayne. Dwayne's last couple movies, Jungle Cruise and Black Adam, did not do well. They kind of tanked.
I haven't seen Jungle Cruise, but I really enjoyed Black Adam.
I'm sorry to hear that. I thought it was awful. But it tanked anyway. Doesn't matter what either one of us think about it. It bombed.
It had Superman in it.
Yeah. And,
okay.
Anyway, it bombed miserably. And the story that I read said that Dwayne realized if he's going to save his career, he has to do something that's popular. So now he's going to be in the next Fast and Furious movie. And that's why I was there. And that just breaks my heart because,
he's better than that.
Yeah, and he doesn't deserve to be treated that way by Vin Diesel. If any, now we're working on pure conjecture here, but that's things that I've read on the internet, and who knows how true it is or what. But I do know for a fact that that's the big surprise, and I probably ruined it for some of you. That Dwayne Johnson at the very end of Fast 10. But don't think of it as ruined it for you. Think of it as did you a favor because now you don't have to watch it. It's just atrocious. It is just atrocious.
You said something earlier about why, and I go back to what you told me many, many years ago. If it's putting butts in the seats, they're going to keep making.
It's all that matters. Doesn't matter how bad it is. Doesn't matter what it pisses people off or whatever happens to it. If it puts butts in the seats, they're going to keep making them. And that's why whenever somebody says, "Oh, Hollywood's running out of ideas," no, they haven't. No, they haven't. There's tons of ideas out there. It's just they don't think people will go see them. It's all about what people will go see. And as long as it's all about that, that's what you're going to get at movie theaters. More and more of the same stuff over and over again.
Look at how many Freddy movies we've seen.
Yeah, well, that's
not
I mean, all the sequels they're generated because people go to see them. That's all there is to it, you know. Jaws is a perfect example. Jaws is my favorite movie of all time. None of the sequels are. They barely stand the touch of time. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. Anyway,
that'll be the next one.
Yeah,
Jaws, the touch of time.
The plethora of these. Anyway,
What's that word?
You know, it doesn't matter because Jaws was made and was the biggest movie of all time at that point. And then Jaws 2 was made and made money. So they kept making them whether it was bad or not. That's what's going to happen. So again, now we're still talking about rumors here. And this is a real brief rumor here because I just heard about this and I don't know where this stands. But the rumor is that Brad Pitt is going to be starring in the Quentin Tarantino's final film, which is called the Critic. And that seems to be a done deal. Now, I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere, but it seems like that's been a done deal. But do you know who's trying to clear their schedule so they can also appear in the movie? Tom Cruise.
Ooh.
Tom Cruise wants to be in a Tarantino movie. Apparently, he was offered a part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and couldn't take it because of his schedule. Well, Tarantino apparently, again, these are all rumors, approached him and said, "Hey, you know, you want to be in The Critic? It's my last movie." And Tom Cruise wants to be in that movie so badly that he's trying to clear his schedule. So, I mean, I'd like to see Tom Cruise in a Tarantino movie, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be very interesting. He might even play himself because the Critic is about a movie critic. So who knows? You know, this is one time Tarantino has kept his script under tight wraps because last time, I think it was maybe not last time, well, whenever he did The Hateful Eight, the screenplay was leaked. And he almost trashed it. He said, "No, I'm not going to do it now. Everybody's read it. Why would I make it?" But he went ahead and did it anyway.
I'm glad he did. I enjoyed it.
Oh, Hateful Eight's a great movie. But anyway, so we don't really know anything about The Critic except that it looks like Brad Pitt will be in it. Whether he's the lead character or not, I don't know. But also that Tom Cruise is circling it. He wants to take part in it if he can clear his schedule. Which, if you're Tom Cruise, probably not easy to do.
One thing I like about Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, they don't necessarily have to be the lead character in a project, and they've proved that.
You're right. Tom Cruise, when he was in that movie Magnolia, which he got an Oscar nomination for, he was not the lead.
And what was the one where he plays an agent?
Movie
agent.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. No. He was the main character in that. No,
that's true.
He played like a movie agent, producer, something like that. Remember, he was bald, had glasses. Oh God, what was that movie? Was that the one?
You're talking about the Tropic Thunder.
Yes, he was great in that. And then Brad Pitt, he was in that movie. He had a small bit part, basically, in Sandra Bullock's last movie.
Well, and he also had a very brief flash scene in Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he did flash.
He played the Invisible Man until he got more than invisible.
And then we saw him.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. So here's an article from Deadline. Brad Pitt reuniting with Quentin Tarantino in final film the movie Critic. So it sounds like that's a done deal. That sounds like it's a done deal. And
how many movies has he done with?
I think there's 2 others. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Glorious Bastards. But he won the Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and deservedly so.
It's a great movie. As a matter of fact, both those movies were great.
Yeah, really, really interesting. I'm so excited about The Critic. We're not going to see it until 2025, which kind of sucks. But anyway, Tarantino also wrote that Star Trek film that was a sequel to Piece of the Action. Do you remember Piece of the Action, the old Star Trek?
Yes.
It was a follow-up to that, yeah. and it was going to be a hard R because that's Tarantino, and B, it fit it because what was piece of the action about? The old Star Trek episode. It's about a planet that was run by gangsters from like the 30s and 40s. And that was, and the last line in that episode is Spock says something about something along the lines of, I just hope they don't ever come out after us. And then you see the guy's got a communicator in his hands down there.
Because
Bones left it there.
The doctor left. He couldn't find his communicator.
And so that was Tarantino's idea. Again, these are all rumors. We don't know this because Quentin and I have coffee once a week or so, but we don't talk about his projects.
I can understand that.
Yeah. But that was the story. It was a follow up to that with that planet coming after us. So,
I heard he's considering optioning Dead Dick.
I would love that.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Tarantino
so
could do it. But you know who the perfect director for Dead Dick is? It'd be Steven Spielberg. That's a Steven Spielberg movie all the way through. Steven, give me a call. Let's do coffee.
But Quentin beat him to it.
Yeah, I'd take either one of them, man. I think those guys are both amazing movie stars. All right, finally here today, we're gonna cut out with this because I got to get up to Fraser Park. We're gonna go have lunch with Josh and Andrea. She's been very sick. She had a kidney infection and had to go to the hospital, but she's all better now. So
That's good.
We're gonna go pay a visit to them.
Well, I for 2 weeks, I had that little over 2 weeks. I had that really bad cold. Remember how I was last week?
Yeah, and came in here in the small room and tried to make me sick too. Well, appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Remember, call in sick when you're sick. Don't go to work. Get that for sharing that crap. Did you ever watch a TV series?
Played the song. That's what friends are for. I hated that song.
No, I'm not. Did you ever watch the TV show Community?
I saw a few episodes. I not religiously. And the only reason I saw them is because somebody else was watching them.
Community is one of those shows that people, they obviously watched it when it was on, but a lot of people have picked up on it now because of streaming services. And every single person I've talked to said the first 2 seasons are okay, but after those 2 seasons, it goes crazy and gets great. I've only seen a couple of episodes like you have, the first couple of episodes, but I heard good. I got to get this down and just go through it until it gets to the good stuff. Well, there's a Community movie in the works, and apparently everybody involved wants to do the movie, and that's good news because you can't do it without. It's, for example, that's the problem with the Orville. The Orville's not going to have another season probably because everybody's out working on other things now. So when you get them together to do a new series, you don't. It's almost impossible. But Community, they've all agreed. They all want to be in it again. The script is almost finished, according to the creator, Dan Harmon. I was just reading this headline here. Community creator Dan Harmon is inching closer to the finish line for his movie portion of his 6 seasons in a movie prophecy. So 6 seasons in a movie is 6 seasons of Community and a movie. You were asking me earlier about Reacher, if Reacher would ever do a movie. Under these ways, I can see that it might. 6 seasons in a movie. It could happen.
And when we say Reacher, we're talking about the actor who plays Reacher in the TV series Reacher.
No, I was talking about Reacher in the TV series.
Oh.
Because Alan Richardson already has more than 6 seasons. He's what, 30, 33, 35? His new movie is supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Ordinary Angel.
Ordinary Angel. Yeah. It's the kind of faith-based movie I could actually go see because they said it's a faith-based movie, but God's kept it in the sidelines. Good. Don't ram that stuff down my throat. That's why I won't see those movies. But that, and plus, I want to see how he is. I want to see how it does. Hilary Swank and he. He's also in Fast 10. And
I didn't know that.
He basically plays Reacher. It's not much of a different from him and Reacher. And I was disappointed in them. I want to see him do Reacher should be his own beast. And I want to see what else Alan Richardson can do. I'm hoping, I know he's done stuff and I've missed it all, so it's new to me. Okay. I'm hoping that his performance in this is really good because he plays a completely different role. He just plays a father with a sick little girl.
Well, when you look at the trailers, it's totally different from Reacher.
Well, no, of course it is. I know that. But my point is he different than Reacher? Is his character, is his performance different than Reacher? Because it's not in Fast 10. It is Reacher. And I was a little bummed by that. I wanted it to be a little different, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, the guy's a bad guy, so there's that, but it still felt Reacher-ish. And I want to see what else he can do, and hopefully this movie will do it. So it's supposed to be getting pretty good reviews. Anyway, if you're a fan of Community, there will be a Community movie eventually. And like I said, the cast seems like they all really want to get it done. So we will see what happens. Johnny, you watched the movie called The Vow. You were going to talk about The Vow.
Yeah, the Vow. It's based on true facts. It's about a husband and wife. They've only been married for, I believe it's just a couple of years, and it's winter time, and they just walked out of this is the beginning of the movie. They just walked out of a movie theater or some type of a theater, and it's been snowing. There's a lot of snow on the ground. The streets are just covered with snow and ice. They get in their car and they pull up to a light. It's either a light or a stop sign. And she said, the wife says something to the nature of, we want to, something about they're going to have sex in the car. So she undoes her.
This is going to get pornographic, is it?
We get kind of sort of. She undoes her seatbelt. And about that time, she reaches over to start kissing on him. And they get rear-ended by a big dump truck. I mean, a big dump truck, because he started sliding and couldn't stop. Hit them at such a force, it forced the car across the intersection, and it runs into looks like a light pole or a big pole, and it throws her through the windshield.
That'll teach you not to wear a seatbelt.
And next thing you know,
Old Jed's a millionaire?
No.
Oh, just a guess.
She ends up in a coma. He, not so much. He gets released from the hospital, and then I don't remember how long it is she's in this coma. But when they show her, her face is all cut up. You can see where they doctored it up, and then later on, when they see her, she had short hair. But later on, when they show her, her hair is grown out.
Are you going to tell us the story? Or
No. I'm getting to this point.
All right.
Her hair is grown out, and the cuts and all that on her face you don't see them. And she finally, and she doesn't.
Time has moved on.
Yeah,
that's all you have to say.
She doesn't have the breathing thing down her throat. So, and he visits her every day, hoping she's going to wake up. Well, she finally wakes up when he's there with the doctor. And she's talking, and she has no idea who he is. She knows her memory is intact from before she met him, but she has no idea who he is.
Interesting.
And the movie is based on true facts. And at the end,
which means it's not, but it's
at the end of the movie, where they show the credits and all that. Well, there's a little thing that talks about. It shows the actual couple with their kids, and it tells you a little bit about just enough for you, like half a paragraph.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what it says, but I recommend this movie. It's called The Vow, and it's with Channing Tatum
and Rachel McAdams.
Yes. And again, for those who like Jurassic World and all that, Sam Neill is in it.
Is there dinosaurs?
No. And also Jessica Lange.
Oh, very good.
And it's sort of a tearjerker if you're that type of a person. That I quite enjoyed this movie.
All right, so there's John's recommendation for The Vow. I always caution everybody, though, just because something's based on true facts doesn't mean it's a true movie. It can't be. You've got to have conflict and things that they make stuff up all the time, and that's important. But it's kind of cool that it is, and I always love when you're watching a movie that's about a real person, when they end with the movie with a picture of the real person, a little brief thing about what happened afterwards.
And that's what this one does.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, so here's what we talked about today. This is something new we're going to do at the end of every show from now on, I hope. We talked about Swiss Conspiracy, the new Film Masters release. Highly recommended by me. Johnny wants to see it too. It's just the film quality is perfect, and you get to see a great cast in 1976. So you get to see what life was back in 1976. We talked about F10, Fast 10, sorry, whatever it is, and how hysterically funny it was for a while until it's too much. and then you're just like, please get over with already. Even though Jason Momoa was awesome in the entire movie and deserves, if you can see it, just watch it for Jason. And for both Jasons, by the way, because Jason Statham also makes an appearance. We talked about the Community movie that's being worked on right now. So 6 seasons and a movie. Looks like it's actually going to happen. Johnny talked about The Vow, which is the movie with Rachel McAdams and Channing Tatum. And really, there's no point for you to see it now because John told you the whole story. And finally, the one thing we didn't talk about was True Detective Night Country, the latest edition of True Detective on HBO and Max, which is the same thing. Just HBO is the channel and Max is you know what it is. Anyway, it was the highest watched season ever of True Detective. It was very successful. I really enjoyed it. It was gloomy and dark, just like the previous True Detectives have been. And one thing I had a problem was it ended pretty quickly. There were only 6 episodes. In that last episode, they sewed up a lot of stuff fast. But other than that, I have 2 words for you. Jodie Foster. You watch anything that Jodie Foster is in. Now, there's been a lot of complaints about this season. And not by a lot, I don't mean overwhelming, but some people have complained because they say it's nothing like the first season of True Detective. I disagree wholeheartedly. It's very close to the first season of True Detective.
I got to watch most of the first season of True Detective, and then we lost HBO.
How can you not watch the rest of it? It's riveting.
I didn't have it.
Well,
So
go buy it then. You
but I
can
have
spend a
to.
little money, John. So anyway, True Detective was very good, and the whole cast was terrific. The writing was dark, and the good news is it was so successful that True Detective has been renewed for season 5. So we'll see that. Who knows when that'll come? This one was years in the making. I think that some people have a problem with it because it's a cast of strong women. Women are the cast behind it. And another person complained that they said it was sexist and racist. Well, it certainly explores those themes, but it wasn't sexist or racist. It was exploring those themes. But some people just have a trouble with, it's sad but true. They have a problem with strong women, and this is a cast led by 2 very strong women. And again, 2 words for you: Jodie Foster. If she's in it, you watch it because she's utterly amazing.
If you like Jodie Foster, look up early episodes of The Partridge Family.
No, don't watch Silence of the Lambs
because
one of
she's
the greatest movies ever made.
She's
we
a
don't
little
care.
girl.
We want to see her, Clarice.
Oh, she was so good as the original Clarice.
Yes, she was.
Of course, the actress who replaced her was really good too.
In the movie or on the television series?
The movie.
Okay. Julia, what's her name? She's terrific. She was good.
Child.
And then
Julia Child.
No, it's not Julia Child. And then this TV series was also pretty good. Pretty sound like Larry David. Pretty. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, folks, we'll see you next week. Until then.
Before we do that,
John, I gotta go.
Yeah, but we didn't say, what are you watching on TV now?
Shows.
Yeah, but the new season.
Will Trent is back. Very excited about Will Trent.
I saw the first episode of
excellent,
the new season.
Excellent episode of Will Trent. The Rookie is also back. Still, the most ridiculous show on television, but you can't stop watching.
You got to watch. I have not seen it yet. I'm hoping to see it. I might watch it tonight.
Here's the thing. It's almost like this. And I'm not saying that it is, but it's almost like this. That they get a call, somebody's got a gun, and they're in their house or something. Send the Rookie, Nathan Fillion, because he gets shot at all the time. Nobody's been shot at that many times in the history of LAPD as the Rookie. Every single week, they're drawn down on him.
But he's no longer a rookie.
He's not.
But he's taking rookies under his wing.
I guess that's how it works then. But yeah, it's Nathan, Jodie Foster, Nathan Fillion.
Ooh, in the same movie.
You hear names, you just watch it. That's all. Did you see that Nathan Fillion's going to be the Green Lantern in the new Superman movie?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, interesting.
Because the last time we saw Green Lantern was
God, obviously.
Even though I like the way he
took care of it in the Deadpool, the first Deadpool. All right, folks. You have something else?
I was going to say I watched the first episode of the new season of CSI Las Vegas.
Only reason he asked me what I'd watch, so he could talk about NCIS.
It's good.
Okay, are we done?
It picks up where the last episode left off, where one of the main characters gets arrested for murder.
Don't they always? How many times did Mr. Morgan get arrested for murder?
None.
I
Maybe
think
once.
several times, or at least accused of it.
Hey, when's that movie coming out, or has it?
It's been out for about 6 months, and we've already reviewed it here on this show.
Oh, yeah. Was I here?
Yeah, I think so.
Was I coherent?
No. Are you ever?
What true?
All right, folks, that's it for now. Go to the Grape, our friends at the House of Jazz and Spirits out here in Ventura. Ventura County's longest bar. Awesome cocktails, craft made. My favorite is the Bill Murray. You walk up and say, like a Bill Murray, and they will make you a drink that they think you want.
It'd be cool if he served it.
You don't get, well, that's where it came from, because that's what he would do. When he would serve a bar, because occasionally Bill would just wander out and bartend somewhere. And no matter what people ordered, he'd make whatever he wanted to make and bring it back to them. So that's why they call the drink the Bill Murray at the Grape. And you order a Bill Murray, and they'll bring you whatever. They'll look at you and think,
Hey, we'll have to do that next week.
he looks like a bourbon guy. I'm going to get him a whiskey sour or something. So that's fun. I like to do that. But also, my wife says the key lime pie martini is the best drink she's ever had. That's down at the Grape. Plus, great jazz, sometimes comedy. It's terrific people. They're some of my favorite people on the planet are in charge of the Grape out there, and it's just a great place. So please visit the Grape. And until then, we'll see you next week.
You know what you forgot to list in what we talked about today? R. Scott Bolton books available on Amazon.com.
You did
go there,
that.
enjoy them.
You should. That's a good advice. See you, folks.
Night.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club.